the goal there goes in, the free kick that he conceded.
The ball across. Really made inroads there. It's the perfect strike.
The Southern League results going through and give you the classified check.
I think 4:45 really signifies what the rest of your week's going to be like. It's either a euphoric moment or a pretty depressing moment, or it can be an anxious moment if you can't find out the scores. But I think 4:45 on a Saturday afternoon is definitely the most important time of the week for most people.
My name's Stuart Knight, I'm a season ticket holder with Reading FC.
Reading fourth from bottom of the league table.
Today we're playing Wigan Athletic at home, and normally I'd be there at the game, but today I'm appearing in the stage production of Lord of the Rings.
He is learned in the law of the ring, yet
I'm relying on this here pager to get the results. My other half is at home and with orders to phone me every time someone scores.
Where'd that back to? David Coleman in London.
Since we're Jewish, we have a Sabbath every week, every Saturday, which means we can't watch TV on Saturday afternoons. So we have to usually wait till the Sabbath goes out, and usually in the evening, to find out the results. We have a few ways of finding out results.
then only the waiting might of God Lord stands between sword and his march to power.
Well, long yet may that march be delayed.
Nothing yet.
Yeah, there you are. They've just scored, so you heard the cheers. Well, on a Saturday, a lot that they can't get to the match rely on Frank Little, the butcher.
And what we do on a Saturday afternoon, we tell the people in the market the score. If Rovers score, we pick the bell up and we ring the bell. And when the opposing team score, we press the klaxon. So everybody in the market knows the score.
I remember my dad taking me into town in 1939, and we joined a big crowd outside a news agency. And then all of a sudden, the crowd started to disperse. He said, "Oh, they've won." I said, "How do you know they've won?" He said, "Oh, the man's put the hat on the windowsill." And when I looked up, on the windowsill was a hat. It was 1-0 for Rovers.
At the end of last season, Carlisle were bottom of the third division, which meant that unless they won, they would be relegated to non-league. I'm a keen orienteer. I'd already entered the British Orienteering Championships. I was trying to concentrate on the race, but obviously kept thinking about, wondering how Carlisle were getting on. Well, I had a particular trouble on this day, and I ended up wandering about in the forest, and then my main focus was, I've got to get back to get the results.
That's the bad news. That's a goal against. Nobody likes hearing that one.
Being a Buddhist in a way is about trying to develop a bit more equanimity, and unfortunately, football's the total opposite of that. In a way, it's just a sort of a preoccupation that does take away from meditation practice, from a deeper peace, really.
Half time, 0-0.
I was in Spain in 1996 on a 4-month retreat. After a while, these builders started doing some work up the road. They were like big, rough Spanish builders, and we were wearing our robes and everything. And then one day we started talking about football, and they said England had beaten Holland. And I suddenly realised that it was like Euro 96 going on.
Aston Villa 0, Nottingham Forest 2, Burnley 0, Manchester United 1.
It was especially difficult when I was in Japan because it was 9 hours time difference. So it was sort of 2 o'clock in the morning or 1:45, whatever, when the game's finished. Now, invariably I was in bed, but my agent always faxed through the scores for me. But if ever I heard the click of the fax machine after the first ring, I used to think, well, should I go back to sleep? And I always got up to have a look, because you got to know, haven't you?
Well, I got to the finish okay, and I just ignored everybody else and just legged it down to the car as fast as I could. And in the very last minute, Carlisle won a corner. Then the commentator let out this almighty scream, and I thought, what's happened? And obviously Carlisle had scored, and he kept saying, Jimmy Glass has scored, Jimmy Glass has scored. Well, the action was that, wasn't it? I out of the car door. There's a few people walking past, maybe thought I was a bit nuts,
I started going up every day now to try and find out, how the football was going on, how England were getting on. So the next morning I was sat there, I was meditating, I was just, come on, you know, let's have breakfast and, you know, let's just go and find out what happened. I couldn't understand what was going on, so they actually had to draw a goal and get one of the, you know, the builders to sort of like pretend to sort of like take a penalty. And then I realised it's like, oh God, you know, it's penalties all over again, and we lost on penalties. And I was just going, oh.
Wigan have bloody scored now. Shit. Well, you can't let it affect you. I go a bit loopy in this scene. It'll probably make me even more loopy.
Exeter City 0, Darlington 2.
Some matches we might climb up on the fence and peer into our next door neighbour's house when they've got the TV on. Find out the results that way. Or sometimes we might wait outside the bookies for people to come out and then ask them the scores.
Sometimes we'll go to my grandma's old age home, just a half-an-hour walk away, and they've got the TV on quite loud there.
Preston North End 1, Barnet 0.
We'll just listen in.
I'm a midwife at the Royal Victoria Infirmary here in Newcastle upon Tyne. I'm a big Newcastle United supporter and have been for about 38 years. There's nothing more unnerving than not knowing a score when you're in the middle of delivering a baby, because babies don't wait for football. I'm afraid they decide to come first, and that's what my job is. But at the same time, I've got one ear on the radio and one eye on the telly trying to find out what the score is. Because football's a religion up here, as anyone will tell you.
Now at this last, we must take a hard road. Now, ball! No living
1-0.
Well, a hospital is only situated about 50 yards from St James's Park, and you can hear the noise of the crowd quite easily. So if I open the window, I can hear what the actual score is by the noise of the crowd.
Still 1-0. Still 15 minutes left to do, plus injury time, so come on, boys, you can do it. You can do it.
Oh, I hope they win.
Yeah, sorry I lost it completely.
Oh, you were fine. You really were.
Oh, but, come on, 1-0.
It'd been in the late 40s, early 50s. My mates and myself had walked to Highbury, watched the match, then walked back, past Pentonville Prison. We used to chalk on the pavement, about 18 inches high, the result for the prisoners. Give them a wave and away. It used to tickle us to think that the chaps, the fellas in the cells, were getting the result well before anybody else in the building, because there were no 5 Live then or anything like that.
There's about 10 minutes left to go, and it's still 1-0 to Wigan, so it looks like my prediction was completely up the Swanee, and we've got another bloody defeat on our hands.
Tottenham Hotspur 4, Sheffield United.
Manchester United 1, Middlesbrough Nationwide Football League Division 1, Birmingham City 2, Stockport
Rovers 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Norwich City 1, Newcastle United 2.
Yes! Yes!
Portsmouth and Barnes was a late run, they kicked off late. Queen's Park Rangers 1, Nottingham Forest 1, Walsall 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, West Bromwich 1, Swindon Town 1. League Division 2, Blackpool 0, Brentford 1, Bournemouth 1, Rotherham United 0. Bristol Rovers 3, Wrexham 1. There is a definite intonation or inflection that you have to use when reading them. I think you've got a home win intonation, you've got an away win intonation, you've got the score draw. I mean, if you said Arsenal 1, Southampton 1, that wouldn't sound right at all, would it? What you need is Arsenal 1, Southampton 1. I think it's got a very special spot on the Saturday afternoon routine.
That's it, another defeat.
Lincoln City 2, Northampton Town 2, Macclesfield Town 0, Hull City 2, Peterborough United 2, Plymouth Argyle 0, Shrewsbury Town 0, Rotherham United 0, Southend United 2, Swansea City 1.